Okay, we're looking at question 4, which basically asks us to weaken an argument. The complexity here is that you need to realize that there's an inside argument and an outside argument going on. The inside argument is from the computer manufacturers, and they're saying, look, installing accessories is not a big deal. The outside argument, the one that we're going to ultimately be weakening, is from the viewpoint that, hey, the computer manufacturers are wrong. There actually is a huge problem installing accessories, and I don't really want to mess with installing accessories. And the reason why is that when you put these, when you put these accessories, you buy this accessory and you place it in, plug it into the computer, you got all these sorts of settings you got to mess with. They're mysterious. You have no clue what you're doing. It's not automatic. You almost have to be a computer whiz kid to go in there and figure it out. So I don't want to mess with it. And then the other one is, you got to get this extra software, and this extra software doesn't jive with the original software. And when you plug it in, like, your whole computer can blow up. So let's just not even worry about getting accessories at all. Okay, and so we need to weaken that. Okay, so we're weakening that outside argument, or we're stepping into the shoes of the computer manufacturers here and saying, you know what? Accessories are not a bad thing, okay? So let's just go through the answer choices and try to come up with the correct one, all right? A tells us that instructions explain the purpose of these settings, okay? The jumpers and the switches. And just because it explains what the purpose of these things are doesn't tell us how to make the settings go easier or give us some automated way. So it's not relevant. I mean, really what we're looking to do is just attack one of these things. So one talks about the settings. It basically tells us, it's really talking about those things that are required to have settings for, but it doesn't really attack anything about making it more easy to set these jumpers and switches. It just tells us what their purpose is. Okay, if we look at B, software for accessories can be obtained for free. Okay, so here we were talking about we need to acquire extra software. Okay, well, just because it's free, we're still having to acquire it, and so it doesn't tell us anything about this software would, doesn't go against the manufactured software that was put into the computer originally. Just because it's free doesn't mean that it's become easier. Okay. C, installing an accessory will become extremely easy in the foreseeable future. Okay. The issue with this is we're not talking about the future. We're talking about the present. And we're saying installing these accessories today is really difficult. So C falls out because it temporarily does not jive with what we need to weaken. Now, if we look at D, a personal computer is usually sold as part of a package that includes accessories and free installation. Okay, so what does D actually do? It kind of gets us away from the idea that we're going out and buying this new accessory. Basically, we purchase the computer, we bring it home, and we've got the mouse, we've got everything, and we just basically plug everything in. It's all part of one thing. So it does a couple of things. I mean, first off, I don't even know if we need to acquire extra software anymore. I mean, this kind of says the idea is that you take this thing home and it's all the accessories are part of the package, and you can plug it in and you really don't have any, and you have no problem. And then it also kind of attacks the idea that even if we were to say that maybe you needed to install some software, because it's all part of the package, and it's free and everything is right there, you're not having to go out and acquire additional software. And then kind of an implicit in that, if it's part of the package, that it's more likely than not that it's going to go ahead and jive with the original software in it. I mean, by and large, it probably is the original software. Now, the latter statement I've made is I've made an implicit assumption. It's not really required. We had already done enough to weaken the argument. And basically, we don't need to acquire extra software. I don't even know if we need extra software anymore. This whole thing is coming in a package, and we're plugging it all in. So D is the correct answer, and again, C could have been, right? But because it's dealing with the future, it kind of it removes it from contention. And then E, if you look at E, E is actually a sucker choice because it actually is going on the side of the outside argument, and that's that this whole thing is difficult. It's not trying to bolster the inside argument, which is what we're really doing. It's actually going against it. So it's a sucker choice. And what the LSAT is doing here is it's wanting to know whether you can remember what you're actually trying to weaken. So if you remember that, E is very easy to get rid of.